Hi you guys, my name is Cyan Martin and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So for this week's video, we're doing another reading vlog, and I decided to pick up all of Ali Hazelwood's books. Technically, it's not all of them because I think she has like a little bind up of novellas, but all of her main books, I wanted to kind of read them just because I'm in the mood for fun, fast-paced little romances, and I also just felt like these would be really fun to read because I am in college and these are all STEM-based romances. So this week we're going to read them, and we're also kind of going to compare them because I've heard a lot of people say that her books are the same exact thing, just in different fonts. So we're going to figure that out, judge it for ourselves, see how they go. All of these are not interconnected standalones. I know that in one of these books the couple from a different book show up, if that makes sense, but they're not a series and they're also not interconnected standalones. They're just their own separate books with similar themes. So we're gonna do that, and we're gonna read them in publishing order. So of course I'm gonna start off with her first one, which is The Love Hypothesis. I think this is about a college student and a professor, which makes me feel a little iffy, but we're just gonna go ahead and hop right into this. Okay, so I think I'm about 50% of the way through this book. I am on page 189, chapter 12. So far, this is about Adam and Olive. So Adam is in fact a professor and Olive is a grad student, but she's not his student. And throughout this story, one of Olive's best friends wants to date her ex, but it's one of those exes where it wasn't super serious. She didn't really have strong feelings for him, so she's okay with them dating, but her best friend is a good friend and is like,
no, absolutely not. I'm not gonna date him because you dated him.
But Olive really wants her friend to date him because she can tell that they really like each other. So she lies to her friend and says, don't worry, I've completely moved on. I'm seeing someone else. That way her friend can start dating her ex. And then she is almost caught in a lie when she tells her friend that she's going out on a date, but instead she is at the research lab and her friend shows up. So what does she do? She grabs the nearest guy, and that happens to be Adam Carlson, the professor, and she just kisses him right there. I'm not gonna lie, it's an absurd, it's a ridiculous meet cute, but it's fun. It's really a fun book. I'm loving our characters so far. He is a little bit more of a grumpy character. I don't necessarily think she's a sunshine character, but she's like just there. And honestly, there's just a little bit of STEM in here, but I don't really find it difficult to understand or follow, and it doesn't take away from the story for me. I'm really having a good time reading this, and it does give like college vibes, even though they're older, so they're like not in college.
That is not correct.
Does this make sense? Like, they're in a college, so you're getting the college vibes, and she's a college student, but she's getting her master's, so it doesn't feel like freshman in college type of romance, if that is a better explanation. But yeah, I'm just going to keep reading and I'll probably update you guys later. I don't know if I'll finish it tonight. It'll probably be tomorrow, but we will see. Okay, so I did read a little bit more of The Love Hypothesis last night, and then this morning I only had like 100 or so pages left to finish, so I finished that off. So one thing I somehow forgot to mention yesterday was the fact that after their kiss, they do end up agreeing to fake date each other, and so you are seeing them fake date, you see them slowly start to fall for one another. I think he definitely falls first, and there is a little bit more plot to it with both of their careers and what's going on, but I'm not going to get into that because I don't want to spoil anything. It was only in her point of view, and typically I like when stories are in both of their point of views, but just for it being hers, it was still really good. So I did end up giving this 3.75 stars solely because I had a really good time reading it. I loved the romance in the story, and I really like our characters, and I will very much recommend this to people. So 3.75 is a really good rating, but I just couldn't rate it higher because for me it's one of those books that even though I really enjoyed it, in the future I will forget everything that this book is about, and I probably won't think about it that much, if that makes sense. So that's why I can't really give it anything higher, but it's still a really fun time. So definitely pick it up if you're interested. But now I'm going to start the second book. So the second book that she released is called Love on the Brain. I actually have no idea what this one is about. All I've ever heard is that apparently she wears galaxy leggings and people absolutely hate that. And I'm not gonna lie, not my favorite choice, but you know what? We'll see how it goes. So let's just go ahead and start this one. Okay guys, so I've been reading for a good while throughout the day, and I have made it halfway through the book so far. So I'm on chapter 13, page 170. This one is about Bee and Levi, and they are both scientists. She deals with the brain. Oh wait, is he an engineer? Both of them are hired on to do this project for NASA, and it's some kind of project where they're building like a helmet to do something for the astronauts when they go in space. So obviously, I don't really know what's going on in that aspect of this book at all, but what I do know is that they are arch enemies, so they're not really getting along while working together. I will say it seems as if Levi is kind of a jerk. Some of the things that keep going on throughout the office, I feel like there's a reason behind that, and we're going to learn that later on in the book. Then one thing that really makes me not like her character is that she swears Levi hates her, and she brings it up 24/7. He'll literally be talking to her and tell her like, oh, I don't have a problem with you, and she's like,
Haha, no, you hate me.
when did he say, like, he never said that. And so it's bothering me because even in the back of the book it says that they're arch enemies, but it's very one-sided. And there is like I guess a secret identity thing because she runs this Twitter account, but you don't know that it's her. It's under like a different name, and it's really big in the science community, especially with women. And then he also runs a Twitter account, or I'm pretty sure, it hasn't said it yet, but basically they are communicating with one another and they don't even know it. See, I'm so bad at explaining what's going on in this book, so just forgive me, but that's what's going on. Not loving her character. I also am on the fence about Levi because, like I said, it kind of seems like he's doing all these really mean things, but I'm sure that he's not actually. I'm not liking it as much as the first book. I'm just gonna read for a little bit longer tonight though, and I definitely won't finish it because I'm already pretty tired, but I'll let you know how I feel in the morning when I do finish it. Okay, so I did finish Love on the Brain, and it's just so conflicting because I was going through it pretty fast and it was keeping my attention, but it wasn't necessarily my favorite ever. I just didn't really connect with the characters as much, and so because of that I did give it 3 stars. It wasn't my favorite, which 3 stars is still a good rating, and so I'm giving it that because I did have a decent time reading it. Like, I wasn't bored or anything. I was just kind of uninterested. See, I don't know. I really just, I don't know. But like at the end, there's also randomly like this little mystery aspect to it, which just kind of came out of left field in my opinion. And also she keeps bringing up the fact that Levi hates her, even though he has said multiple times that he doesn't. She cannot get it through that thick skull of hers. And I also just felt like the STEM aspect was a lot more confusing in this one. I think it's just because it was about the brain and I was lost, okay? Completely do not know anything about that, so maybe that's just on me, but I was a little bit confused at those parts, so that's why it didn't get anything higher than a 3-star. But I don't think I would necessarily recommend this to people, but I also didn't like hate it when I was reading it. So like, I don't know. Take what I'm saying about it and my thoughts and do what you will. But I will say that this book and the first one are not similar at all in my opinion. The writing style is the same, duh, because it's the same author, and there's STEM in it, but the plots were just two completely different things. So far I don't think they're just copycats of one another. But now we're gonna read the third book, which is way over there, so let me go get it. Okay, so now we're going to read Love Theoretically. This is her newest release. We'll see how it goes, see if her writing style has improved since she started, and how I feel about this. I do know a little bit more about this because it's her newest release. I heard that she fake dates this guy, and then while she's fake dating him, falls for his brother, who also happens to be her like enemy in the workplace, I think. But you know what? We'll find out together. Okay guys, so it's the next day. I did not update you guys much yesterday about me reading, but I did get through a good chunk of Love Theoretically. I am on chapter 19, page 261, and this book is about Jack and Elsie. So Elsie is a college professor herself, and she's not making very good money doing that. She is living paycheck to paycheck. I think it's because, oh, so yeah, an adjunct professor, which I have no idea what that means, but because of that, she is not making very good money. So in order to make more money, she starts fake dating guys. So she is fake dating this guy, and it turns out that he is using her to just kind of get his family off of his back. They are friends, completely platonic, don't have any sort of feelings for one another. And the reason why he needs her to fake date him is because he has a secret that he doesn't want anyone to know in his family quite yet. And at the same time, she is trying to land her dream job at MIT, I believe. Yes. And so she goes in for like this interview, and it turns out that one of the people who are like part of the decision of if she's going to get this job or not is a guy named Jack, who happens to be the guy that she is fake dating's brother. And he is pretty much convinced that she is living this whole other life and lying to his brother, so she can't tell him about her job and the fact that she wasn't lying and like betraying his brother. So at first he really does not like her. Another big reason why they don't like each other is because of something that he did in the past, but I'm not going to go into that. And because she is a theoretical physicist, and he is a, what is it? Experimental. He is an experimental physicist, and apparently those two type of careers just clash, you know, and don't like each other. So there's a whole lot of reasons why they don't necessarily like each other at first, but then stuff starts happening. So yeah, I'm actually really enjoying it so far. Don't necessarily know if I love the characters, but I do like them a lot better than the characters in Love on the Brain. So I'm gonna sit here, I'm gonna finish this bad boy, knock it out in a few hours, and then give you guys my final thoughts on all of these books. Okay, you guys, so I did just finish Love Theoretically, and I really enjoyed this one as well. I think that it wasn't, once again, very confusing to understand the STEM aspects in this one. Not confusing at all. I love her writing style. I did like our main female character, Elsie, because I really did relate to her personality a lot. Something that Elsie does is she kind of shapeshifts her personality depending on who she's around in order to match their vibes. But I do feel like that is something that I do, and also just a lot of people as humans do. So I can really relate to that, but she kind of does it to an extreme extent. So I did relate to her character a lot, but Jack just wasn't my favorite. He felt a little I don't want to say controlling, but almost controlling and like a little bit assertive, because the personality that I just described, he really tried to help her figure out what she wants and do what she wants and to stop being a people pleaser. But the way he did it was a little bit aggressive. Like he all the time he'd be like, "What do you want? What do you want?"
What do you want? What do you want?
It's not that simple.
What do you want?
So I don't know, that wasn't my favorite, but I did really enjoy this book. I had fun reading it, and so for that, I think I'm gonna have to give this one probably 3.5 because I don't think I liked it more than the first one that we read, but I still really enjoyed it. So that's that. Now let's do a little bit of a wrap up. So the first one was The Love Hypothesis. I gave this one 3.75. Really good. Love their characters. Not hard to understand, and all of these books do have smut, by the way, but it's only like a couple scenes of smut. Love Adam Carlson so much. He definitely fell first, and this one is the fake dating trope. And then we have Love on the Brain. I gave this one 3 stars. Don't really know how I feel about it still. I just feel like it is supposed to be an enemies to lovers, but they're not really enemies. It's just a huge misunderstanding. And like I said, I kind of found the main character B a little bit annoying. And for me, the science aspect of this one was a little bit more confusing than the other ones. And then of course, like I just said, we have Love Theoretically. I gave this one 3.5 stars. Still really liked the characters. Not a huge fan of Jack though, so I think that's why it's a little bit less. And also it just wasn't as entertaining as the very first book in my opinion. But that's that. These books were really fun. I would actually recommend them. Maybe skip this one, maybe. But in conclusion, they are not the same book, just rewritten. I think people misinterpret that just because they all have STEM in them, but really, no. And in all of them, there is kind of a huge plot point of the struggles that women face in STEM. So that was very interesting as well, and it was very enlightening because I'm pretty sure Ali Hazelwood actually knew all of this from experience. I do think she was in STEM, so that's where she's getting this information from, and I had no idea that that's what it was like. But yeah, overall, I had a pretty fun time reading these. I would recommend them, and that's that. I hope that you all enjoyed this video. I hope that you all have a great rest of your day, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!